You can start the prayer.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamadam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunadanvitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Ye Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare
Hare Krishna. So we are in the 6th chapter and Dhyana Yoga. So this talks mostly about the mind control. So let's start. Who is that? How is it?
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I read Mataji? Rohan Prasad.
Wait, let me start. What is the hurry? Everybody is going to get chance. No? What is the hurry? Yeah, Rohan, we are in. We completed till.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Sanichyene yukta vyoyogo nirvinnashe chetasa sankalpa prabhavam kamam tyaktva sarvam asesataha manasevindriyani gramam viniyamya samanta tata. Translation: one should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith and do not deviate from the path. One should abandon without expectation all material desires as born of mental speculation and thus control all the senses on all sides by the mind. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga. We are talking about, mostly we have talked about the various stages of Ashtanga yoga, and now so we'll discuss about this yoga only, all this about the Ashtanga yoga and which is better, whether Ashtanga yoga is better or any other stages of yoga is there. We are discussing about that. Okay, one should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination. That means he should have total determination. Okay, if I do, I'll do. If not, tomorrow I'll do. Not that way. I have to do means I have to do. When the time comes, Whether you set a time, that time comes automatically, your mental alarm should ring and say you cannot deviate yourself from it. So you must have so much of determination and faith. And also this determination will come only when we have faith. Otherwise the determination will never come. Only when we have faith on Krishna, we will have faith on any service that we are doing to Krishna. Otherwise, we'll have a doubt. Are we doing the right thing? Am I wasting my time by doing chanting? Am I wasting my time by attending this class? Or can I do something better? That kind of a doubt should never come. Only when you have real faith, then only you will have the determination. And not be deviated from the path. You take a path in life, just because when we are going in a path, at every junction we get a confusion, especially when we go on this ORR, the turnings are so sharp in the beginning that we get confused which road to miss, which road to take. That kind of confusion should not be there. We should be very clear on which path we should go. One should abandon means leave. One should abandon without exception. Okay, I have left everything, only this I am taking. That exception should not be there, because once that exception is there, that exception will lead to one more. That will lead to one more. All material desires born of mental speculation. That means in the mind only the speculation happens, thinking this or that, this or that, this or that. Only when that material desires are no more with us, that mental speculation will go, and thus control, and thus control all senses on all sides of the mind. So basically the root cause of all the above problems, that means abandoning this mental desires, is just the senses. So that control should be there. So a yogi, whenever he practices anything, the first thing what he should have is, he should have total determination on what he is doing. See, like determination means normally we think of small things, but here Prabhupada gives a great example, that once a bird, I think I've told this example to you on different occasion. Once a bird laid its eggs on the shore. In the shore means not where the water comes, a bit away, where normally the water does not come. It has kept a nest and it has put its eggs. But okay, we all know that because of various reasons, this ocean has bigger tide, smaller tide, and all that. For whatever reason, the ocean has come and overlapped on this eggs, and the eggs were pulled into the ocean. So then the mother bird comes and sees that the ocean has taken away its eggs. It goes and requests the shore, the ocean, to give back its eggs. And the ocean, in our scriptures, we consider the ocean also as a demigod. So we call him as Samudra. So when it went and requested the Samudra, the king of the oceans, to give back its eggs, it refuses. Then it gets so angry, and it determines itself to get back itself, because it knows that the eggs are there inside the ocean. So it thinks that the bird is, how small is the bird? This much. And we know the size of the ocean. Then the bird says, you give my eggs back, otherwise I am going to dry up the ocean. Everybody will laugh, even we will laugh. Arey, the bird, how can it dry up the ocean? That is the kind of immediate thought all of us will get. But the bird was so determined, it keeps on going into the ocean, wets its wings, comes out, and then sprinkles the water outside. Again goes into the ocean, wets itself, and comes out, and then sprinkles the water. That means every time some 10 drops, 15 drops of water will be coming outside. That way, when it is doing the ocean, the Samudra will laugh. When will you dry me up? So it just laughs. But then with the determination with which it is doing, the king of the birds is Garuda. So the Garuda, because he is the king of the bird, he comes and asks the bird, what are you doing here? Then the bird says, see, this ocean fellow has taken away my babies, so I want them back. So, and it continues its determination. But Garuda, even though it's a bird, it's also a demigod kind. So he helps the bird. Let's not get into that story. He helps the bird to get the eggs back. How did the bird get the eggs back? Because of its determinations. That means normally we think, array so small, how can we get that big? Is it possible to get that big? Yes, it is possible. The only thing what is important is determination, doing it in the right direction and having faith on Krishna. Then Krishna will also help us here. So that way we will always achieve. So that determination is very important. So here he is using the word without any deviation. That means the determination is very good. We want to do, the decision is very good, thinking that I am going to get first rank in the class this month. But the way we do is also important. Deviation means, okay, I'm going to get first class. Now I'm still in the month of June. There are 9 more months to go ahead. In these 9 more months, I can study. But today I'll watch a movie. That is enough. The deviation. Today we'll watch a movie. Tomorrow we'll go for a football match. That day after tomorrow, we can just sleep on the table. What, Jitesh? And then I can sleep on the table. Slowly, one day, all the 9 months will be over. So that deviation should not be over. When you are doing something, determined to do something, you have to do it without any deviation. Daily, evening, I have to study from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Whatever may happen, you have to study. Suppose there is something unavoidable at that hour 6 to 8, you finish that study hour before. That way you can always deviate, but not postpone it. Okay, I'm going out for a party. I'll come back at 9 o'clock and study from 9 to 11, which we can never do because we are tired, exhausted, over. So that way be careful. Okay, and those this desire also, here he talks about can all of you mute? Who is talking? Okay, so here he is also talking about the material deviations are coming because of why these material deviations are coming. They are all coming because of the sense grab. So the sense without our attachment, our connection with the senses, that is what is deviating. And here Prabhupada says there are 6 qualities to progress in Krishna consciousness or for a yoga practitioner. They are very important. One is determination. The second one is enthusiasm. The third one is patience. Okay, we wanted to get first class. We have really worked hard, fine. But I have not got first class. I just got 10th rank. Nothing to worry. Last year I was at 20th rank. This year I have come for 10th rank. Very good. Next year I'll go further. That kind of a patience. And sometimes the work can totally fail also for whatever you have prepared very well for exams. But maybe you got fever, maybe something happened, you could not write the exam. Never get demotivated. We should have a lot of patience because for everything there is a time which will come. For various things may not happen, but we should have that patience. And one is determination, second one is enthusiasm to do it, then the patience, and then following prescribed duties is also important. We should never give up our prescribed duties for achieving our goal. And the most important is the 5th one is giving up attachments. These attachments is what is spoiling all our life. Because we are attached to so many things, that is where we fail in our life. And the most important thing is association with the devotees. You have to get associated with the devotees. And to tell you, every Saturday, I make it a point to go to the satsang. 90% I go. Because I meet all the devotees. The same class I can listen in Zoom also sitting at my house. But there I don't get the association. It's but once I go to the satsang, I get the association. That association, we get motivated. Hey, these people are doing so much of devotion. These people are doing so much. Where am I? Will I go back to Krishna? This kind of thing. And in English, there is a saying, tell me who your friends are, I'll tell you who you are. So, who we are, if our 10 friends are devotees, we are devotees. If our friends are brilliant students, we are brilliant students. If our friends are vagabonds, we are vagabonds. That's simple. So, this is the 6 qualities what we should compulsorily possess. What are they? Determination, enthusiasm, patience, following prescribed duties, giving up attachment, and association with the devotees. Okay. Next.
Mataji Dikshit, can I read?
Next time you can read. Who will read now?
Now I will read, Mataji.
Harshit?
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, switch on your video.
Sanyai uparamed buddhya driti grihitaya atma samstham manakritva na kinchit api chintayat. Translation. Gradually, step by step, one should become situated in trance by means of intelligence sustained by full conviction, and thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should think of nothing else.
Yeah, gradually, step by step. That means we should not think till now, suppose you are never opening your book and studying, you should not take a decision to sit and study for 10 hours a day. You can never do. Slowly, we should increase. A person giving up coffee or tea, suppose he drinks 10 cups of tea every day. Suddenly he gives up. What happens is his mind keeps asking for it lot. So when he is drinking 10 cups, he should come back to 8 cups. Or if he can come back slowly, he should come back. Step by step, we should progress. Suppose you are playing for 5 hours a day. If you want to study, if you want to improve, so playing games is very important. You have to pay. But studying for 5 hours is not required. Playing for, we should study for more. So 1 hour reduce. That way, step by step, one should become situated by means of intelligence. Here, how can we shift? That is where our intelligence should work. We are getting all this Shastra knowledge. When we are getting our Shastra knowledge, that knowledge tells us in life what is important and what is not important. And sustained by full conviction, strong decision, and thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone. Don't think of anything around us. Just think about yourself. It doesn't mean be selfish. You have to be selfish, but you have to be selfish to the extent of not material things, but we have to be selfish to the extent of spiritual things. That means we should not sacrifice our spiritual progress for the sake of material benefits or material benefits of others, and should think of nothing else. Just put your concentration on what you want to do. The way you know the story of Arjuna, the way every time, 100 times, the story is referred to all the children. When Pandavas and Kauravas, when they were learning archery, their guru has asked, he has shown a bird on the tree and said, you hit the eye of the bird. Then he keeps asking one by one. One says, I see a tree, I see a bird, and he starts there. And more concentrated person says, I see a bird there. And finally it comes to the Arjuna. And then when the guru Drona asked, what are you seeing there? He says, I see the bird of an eye. That's all, because that is his aim. He has to hit the eye. He sees only the bird eye. Nothing else around. Anything around that can distract us. Like the tree, there is a beautiful flower. That beautiful flower, if he sees the beautiful flower and the eye of the bird, there is a chance that the flower can distract him. So only our goal should be seen. Nothing else should be seen. having said the above, Krishna also says step by step, above means that we should have 6 qualities. Step by step, one should progress in control of mind. Then only we'll come to higher stage with full conviction. And then when you fix your, as I told you, you want to get first rank in the class, don't think that tomorrow, next month, next week, I have my monthly exams, I have to come first in the class. Impossible. When you are at the 20th rank, on 1 week, you can never get first rank. If it comes, it will be a fluke. And the next month, you may not get it. So it should be a gradual progress. From 20th rank, come to 10th, come to 5th, come to 3rd, come to 1st. That is a gradual stage where you will not fall. Even you all people also show the graph. If something, a graph is going like, all of you know what a graph line is. If the status of somebody is growing like this, and suddenly the graph increases like this, there is a chance that it falls. So but if it gradually increases, it won't fall because it will have a base. So it's that is what. Yeah, who will read?
Mataji,
Yeah, read.
Yato yato nishkalati manas.
Nischalati manas chemchal.
Nishkalati manas.
Chemchal
Sanchalam astiram. Tatas tato. Niyama. Maitadi. Atmane. Eva vasam from wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. From wherever the mind wanders, due to its flickering and unsteady nature, we all know every minute, now we are here, next minute it can be it can be in America, it can be in your class, it can be in the playground, wherever, it just doesn't take. The fastest, what is the fastest moving thing in the world means it's not a thing, but what is that fast moving, can move the fastest is mind. It just goes and flickers, then the second minute it goes to somewhere, the third minute it goes to somewhere. So it can keep flickering, and unsteady nature. This second you will love this, the second minute you will love something else, the third minute you will love something else. One must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of self. We should have the control of self. We should never become the slave of the mind. Mind should be our slave. That means our mind should do whatever we ask it to do. That is very important. From here, Krishna is going deep into the how to control our mind. So as we all know, mind is very unsteady. We have to bring it back. And how do we do? See, as our mind is very strong and the Maya is really affecting us, what is important is when we see it, sensual objects, we get attracted. So the best thing is keep us away from them. Only after a man or a person who fully has mind control will not get distracted, but otherwise they will get distracted. So keep us away from them. That is what is important. See, when we are going, when you are, suppose you are really studying something, the TV program is going, we'll think, okay, I'm studying, just for 5 minutes I'll get distracted. I'll just watch that cricket match, one ball, one sixer I'll watch and go. You just go and stand there, and that sixer will take you to another sixer, that will take you to another sixer, that will take you to one wicket down and everything, and you're out. Well, what is it we wanted to do? We really wanted to study seriously, and we wanted to just relax for 5 minutes. That relaxation is never gone. That means it doesn't mean I'm telling you not to relax. Before itself, you have to plan for everything, not get distracted. You can never think I'll get distracted now, next minute I'll study. No, this hour is for studying. You have to study. This hour is for playing. So I'm not talking about studies also, even for playing also. Evening 5 to 6 or 5 to 6:30 is playtime. For children, it is most important to go into the playground and play. The most important thing, you should never stop it. Whatever may happen, you should go and play. That's all. There can be most important movie, there can be something else, anything else. Suppose I say I want to have a class, then also you should say that is our playtime. or at least you should adjust the playtime to somebody else. But you should just not flicker like that. That's very important. That is very important. Mind should never ever allow the mind to control us. Okay. And also one thing, a person who controls his mind is called a Goswami. We all know Goswami as a surname. We thought it's a surname, but the meaning of it is Goswami means a controller of the mind. And a person whom the mind controls is called a Godasa. That means he is a dasa of the mind. In Slokas 24, 25, 26 explains various ways to control our mind. Now Slokas 27. Vishnupriya, will you read?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I will read, Mataji.
Right, you have already read, let others read. Every time don't say I will read. The others did not read once also.
यतो यतो निश्चलति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरं ततस्ततो नियम्य एतत् आत्मान्येव वसं. Translation. From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the
It is
self.
26, no? We have already completed. Okay. So from wherever the mind wanders, we have finished this. Sorry, you can read the next one.
Mataji, this Sloka Dikshit read, Mataji.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Read the next one.
Yes, Mataji. Prashantamanasam hyenam yoginam sukhamuttamam uppaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutama kalmasham. Translation. The thief whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the mode of passion. He realizes his qualitative identity with the Supreme, and thus he is freed from all reactions to past deeds.
The yogi whose mind is fixed on me, that is on Krishna, verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He will definitely get the happiness of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the mode of passion. That means he does not get passionated with all the material things. He realizes his qualitative identity. What is our quality? Our quality is we are part and parcel of Krishna. That is our quality. So he realizes that, identifies with the Supreme. So we are part and parcel of Krishna. That means we are no different from Krishna. Not called quantitatively, but qualitatively we are different. And thus he is freed from all reactions to past deeds. So here past deeds means we are all suffering like this in this world because of the sufferings of our karma in our past life. So the moment he realizes that we are part and parcel of Krishna, that means the moment we know that we are part of Krishna, we get attached to Krishna. The moment as we know who our parents are, we are getting attached to our parents. So that way, when we know that Krishna is our father, we get attached to him. So here Krishna explains two things. One is Brahma Bhuta, and the second one is Brahma Sankarsha platforms. The two platforms he explains. So what is Brahma Bhuta? Brahma Bhuta is mind is fixed and peaceful. For this kind of people, because their mind is fixed on Krishna, they have no entanglements, they have no disappointments, nothing. Anything that comes, they take in a very cool way. So they are very fixed and peaceful. And their passionate desires, their passions, their desires are controlled. Normally, any desire comes, okay, desires might come. Immediately, they know how to control the desires. Mind restricted can attain easily for a Brahma Bhuta, realization that one is soul and not a body. So when we realize that we are soul, not the body, where is a question of like everything we want for ourselves. Why? Because we want to wear beautiful clothes, because we think we are body. We want to put beautiful jewelry because we think we are this body. And anything we do, we want beautiful toys because we feel we are this body. So the moment we understand we are not this body and we means that is the soul, so what is that we will do? We will try to have everything for the soul. So we will try to feed the soul with what will make the soul happy. So the moment, what is that? The soul will become happy. The soul will become happy only with the connection with Krishna. So when we get connected with Krishna, all our karmas will be cleared. That's all. So it's as simple as that. So 28. Sri Sagana, are you there? Will you read 20? Wait. Sri Sagana, are you there? No.
Mataji, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, please read.
Can you hear me, Mataji?
Yes, yes, Ragana, I can hear you. Yes, Ragana, go ahead.
Yes, Mataji. Yunjan egam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmasaha sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukham asnute. Translation. Thus, the self-controlled yogi, constantly engaged in yoga practice, becomes free from all material contamination and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness in transcendental loving service to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thus, the self-control yogi. So, Krishna has been telling that what is most important is self-control, mind control. So, what does he do? Constantly engaged in yoga practice. Yoga means it is yoga practice, connection with God practice, not with asana practice. This we have to be very clear. Become free from all material contamination. When do you get the contamination of the mind? We get the contamination of the mind when we listen to it and when we act as per it and when we get attached to the material desires and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness. When we get into that is the highest stage, because we have always been talking that in material nature, in material world, whatever gives happiness today will definitely give sorrow tomorrow. Whatever is the reason for today's happiness is the reason for sorrow tomorrow. But in spiritual world, that is where we get the perfect happiness in the transcendental serving service of Lord Krishna. Here Krishna describes the realization of Paramatma called Brahma Sankarsha. In the previous sloka, we talked about Brahma Bhuta. Here it is Brahma Sankarsha. So here engaging oneself in material contamination, that is the only thing that will give us sorrow thing. Sankarsha means contact. Sankarsha means connection. So when we get connected with the Lord Krishna, it's very easy to control our mind. Understanding that when we know that we are the servant of the Supreme Lord, when we think that we are the boss, that is when all the ego will come. That is when all the desires will come. But when we know that we are when we know that we are servant of somebody, that obedience, that humility will come. So that is what is very important. Siri, will you read next one? 29. Siri, are you there?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, please.
सर्वभूतस्थमात्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि इक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः. Translation. A true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized person sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere.
Yeah. Here, this in Sloka 29 and 30, Krishna shows us two platforms. The next two slokas, we are shown the next two platforms of Atma and Paramatma, realization of Atma and Paramatma. Here Krishna says, a true yogi observes Krishna in all beings and also sees every being in me. So this is what we always been talking. Whoever we try to evaluate somebody or grade somebody because of their position, thinking, oh, he is a very rich man, so a higher position. He is a worker in the house, so he is lower position. He is a Brahmin, he is more. He is a Sudra, he is less. We are very beautiful, they are not, so we are more. This kind of classification. We are human beings. We have a better life, whereas a dog on the street has a poor life. This kind of discrimination always happens in our mind, which is very common for all the people like us. It's very common. We discriminate between anything and everything. We discriminate. But a self-realized yogi observes Krishna in everybody. The moment we see Krishna in somebody, that means it is like this. If to understand, we love our siblings very much, or we love our mother and father very much. When we see the same sibling in our dog, we treat the dog as our sibling. We love it equally. When we see a mother in a beggar on the street, we love her equally. That so. If you see Krishna in everybody, we will love everybody equally. And we see Krishna in everybody, and we see everybody in Krishna. That means because all of us have come from Krishna. Indeed, the self-realized person sees Krishna, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere. So he sees everybody in Krishna and Krishna in everybody. That is the meaning of a self-realized person. So this is, to understand this also, it is a bit difficult, but this is what gives equanimity between everybody. Yeah.
Mataji, I can read, Mataji.
Yeah, read.
Yo mam pasyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pasyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha mena pranashyati. Translation: for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, and I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. For one who sees me everywhere, the same thing what was told in the previous sloka, and sees everything in me, I am never lost. Because everywhere, whatever we see Krishna. Wherever we see Krishna. How can we lose? Like we say, out of sight is out of mind. But now when we start seeing Krishna everywhere around us, how can we ever forget him? Not so, we never lose Krishna. Just now before the class, I was telling how we lose Krishna. But when we start seeing everything in Krishna in everything, there is no way we will lose him. So here we have to be very clear that we are all part and parcel of Krishna, and due to the effect of Maya, we are forgetting it. We always forget it due to the effect of Maya. So with bhakti, we can reconnect to him. So when we start getting connected to Krishna with bhakti, Krishna will never disappoint us, and he will never go away from us. Always connected to him. And Ashtanga Yogi, after passing the last but two stages, that is Dharana and Dhyana, preliminary, that is the first is Dharana stage, through meditation, he tries to connect to the Supreme Lord. And in Dhyana, and this is one of the stage of connecting to Krishna. But in Dharana stage is an advanced stage where of connecting Krishna. Here in the first one, he connects less. In second one, he gets more. And in Samadhi, it is totally connected and getting into meditation. But this person, a yogi who has reached the Ashtanga Yoga in the Samadhi stage also, what his mind is thinking, he might be doing the meditation, concentration and everything fine. But here also his understanding is what is most important. Is he believing, and a person in Samadhi also, is he believing that Krishna is the Supreme Lord? And is he getting connected to Krishna? Sagana, can you mute? So is it is he getting connected to Supreme Lord through his meditation, or is he trying to connect to getting liberated or something else? And then if his understanding is wrong, even though he does meditation and gets into samadhi, he does not get. Yeah. Next, Sloka 31.
ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಗಿತ್ತು ಇವಾಗ ಕೈಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ತು.
Mataji, can I read?
Yeah, read.
To conclude,
Okay, wait. 31.
Mataji, can I read? Mataji, can I read?
Let him read.
Mataji, can I read?
Yeah, read.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
सर्वभूतास्थितं यो मां भजते एकतत्त्वम्
Mastitaha.
अस्थितः सर्वतः
Manyopi.
सर्वमान्योऽपि आयोगी मन्यवर्ततः.
Mayuvartate. Yeah.
Translation.
Hmm.
Such a yogi who
Engages.
the worshipful service of the super soul, knowing that I and the super soul are one, remains always in me in all
Always me in all circumstances. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Such a yogi who engages in the worshipful service of the Supreme Soul, knowing that I and the Supreme Soul are one, remains always in me and in all circumstances. So here Krishna tells very clearly that we should know that we are part and parcel of Krishna, that myself and the super soul are one only. But again, don't forget, it is only qualitatively, not quantitatively. Remains always in me, that I am always in Krishna and Krishna is always in me. That we should never forget under any circumstances. With the activities of a yogi. So at this stage, he meditates. If you get to this stage, we meditate on the super soul, and because we know that we and the super soul are one. When we think that we and the super soul are one, automatically we get attached, because we love ours, because we think that me feeling is what is important. So we get attached there. So no difference between them. He is also with Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Dikshit, you want to read? Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, read. Yeah, read.
आत्मोपमयेन सर्वत्र समन्पश्यते अर्जुन सुखं वा यदि वा दुःखं स योगी परमो मतः. He is a perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. He is a perfect yogi. Who is a perfect yogi? Who compares by compare.
Chatri.
He is a perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings. That means comparing himself, he sees all of us are same in both their happiness and their distress. O Arjuna. So a perfect yogi is never carried away with the differences created by us. That means we, as I told you, we create all these difference, that we are Indians, they are Americans, we are from a city, and those people are from a village. this, we are all educated, they are uneducated, we are from this, we are Hindus, they are Christians or Muslims, this kind of creation, all this only we create. So a perfect yogi does not have all those, and he treats everybody the same. Understand that, because when will this come? This will come only when we understand that we are a part and parcel of Krishna. Okay, and here, and that means he is called a paradukha dukhi. Paradukha dukhi means a person who becomes dukkham, who feels sorrowful when somebody else also feels sorrowful. Normally, the tendency of any human being is he feels very happy when somebody cries or when somebody is sorrowful. Most of this is what is jealous, and that is the root cause of all the problems in this material nature. So that a perfect yogi will be a paradukha dukhi, but he will never enjoy other sorrowfulness. He will only feel sorrow for others. For example, here he is very clear, he should be very clear that we are all same. Like the example what Prabhupada has taken is Prahlada's. When his guru said, Hari, like Prahlada was sent to the to get educated, and everybody there are only, they all pray Lord Shiva, and they all pray for Hiranyakaspa. So here Prahlada adamantly was always doing meditation on Hari only. Then their guru told, why are you praying to Hari? He is our enemy, and all Hari Bhaktas are our enemies. Why are you praying to them? Then the answer Prahlada gives is, how can there be enemy at all? After all, they are from Hari, we are from Hari. The source of all of us is same. How can there be any enemies? When will this enmity come? When we think they are different, we are different, the enmity will come. When we think that all of us are same, when will the enmity come? When we think they are all our brothers, we are all our sisters, there is no enmity. So that's what Prahlada said. How can there be an enemy on this world? How can they be our enemies? Whatever they do, the source of all our source is same. When all our source is same, how can there be any enmity? Was the answer given by Prahlada. And also when his father also, he gets astonished. Such a small boy, a 5-year boy, he is able to stand the kind of pressure I am putting. Like sometimes I am trying to kill him with poison. Sometimes a big elephant tried to come and stamp him. Sometimes I tried to cut his neck. When such a horrible things happen also, he is very stable and very peaceful. How, from where is he getting this mental strength, was the doubt of Hiranyakaspa. Then he asked Prahlada, where did you get this strength from? Then again Prahlada gives the same answer. He says, the strength, the person who is giving strength to me is none other, is no different from the person who is giving strength to you. That means in the previous example, Prahlada said, our source is same. Here he said, the person who is giving me is giving you. There is no difference between both of us. We are all servants of Hari. This is a big blow on Hiranyakaspa, the answer, because that hits Hiranyakaspa's ego. What does Hiranyakaspa think? That he thinks he is very great. His strength is from within himself, that he has done he has got so much of big kingdom, he has got so much of powers, he has done a lot of meditation on Shiva and he got powers. But he thinks they are all his own. So when he says nothing is yours, everything, whatever you have, is given by Hari only. And so this is a shock to Hiranyakaspa. What is this fellow, this boy is talking? So, so every time, whenever Prahlada faced a problem, he said the same thing. So when we compare with others, we should think that we are all same. It all depends on how we are utilizing it. How we are, whether we agree or not. Let's say some people say, and Prabhupada also, it seems somebody else came and asked Prabhupada, so you say that Krishna is your God? Then Prabhupada said, yes, Krishna is my God. Not only my God, Krishna is your God also. Whether you agree or not, it is true. See, a lot of things which are very obvious also we deny, saying, no, I don't agree to it. That is not correct. But whether we agree or not, truth is truth. The truth is that Krishna is the God. The truth is that we are all his part and parcels. The truth is that we are all equal. The truth is that all our energy is from him only. The only thing what we have to do on from our side is control our ego and never forget that we are servants of Krishna and we should never deny the existence of God. And we should, yeah, that's how we should make 33. Yeah, 33, Harshit.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Arjuna Uvacha Yoyam Yogastvaya Proktah Samyena Madhusudana Etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvat stithim. Translation. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable
Unendurable to me.
Unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady.
Yeah. Okay, Arjuna said, "Oh Madhusudana." Now Arjuna is again asking questions. The system of yoga, till now Krishna has explained about the yoga system, how we should follow and how we can control our mind. So Arjuna says, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me. Not, I cannot practice it. For the mind is restless and unsteady. See, we all know this, how our mind keeps going. So here, even in Ashtanga Yoga, what is important is the control of mind only. And Krishna talked about various stages of yoga. And he's talked about yoga arush and then yoga arudha and all that. But again, the mind is what is important. Now he says, Arjuna says, I have a very serious concern. I don't see what you are talking is impractical. Arjuna says this is all theory. Okay, what you are saying might be right, but not impossible for us to practice, because our mind is stable. It's impossible to control our mind. Because we know Arjuna is a man with a lot of control. When lot of control in any senses, that means from his childhood, he was very obedient to his gurus, his elders. I mean, he was never arrogant. That means when will you be very obedient and not arrogant? When we have mind control. Otherwise, every person will have their mental, their thoughts, but we should know where to control. Okay, my guru said, do it. I have to do it. I should not say no. Why I should do it is normally the question that comes in the mind. Immediately, we should control our mind, saying no, guru is telling. That means there is something good in it. I have to do. That kind of a control you should have. And throughout his life, he was very obedient to his elder brother. All his problems in life was because of the decisions taken by his elder brother only. But he never revolted against his elder brother, because the Shastra says you should have a family, you should always be together, and you should live a family, good life. So that way also he had a lot of control of mind. And also once Arjuna goes to Indraloka. When he goes to Indraloka, Urvasi, a dancer there, he sees Arjuna and she falls in love with Arjuna. And she says, marry me. And because they are devatas, they have no age problem. But Arjuna establishes the relationship with the Urvasi and says, our relationship is like a mother and son. You are my mother. How can I marry? I cannot marry you. So that means such a beautiful lady comes and offers herself for marriage also. Arjuna, he knows how to control his mind. He doesn't get tempted. So that kind of a strong person Arjuna is. Because of that decision, Arjuna gets a sabam also. but still he controlled his mind. That kind of a Arjuna says it's impossible to control mind. I am not able to control my mind. That is where all this Bhagavad Gita has come, because on seeing all his relatives around and the first 6 questions what he has put, they are his doubts. Why did the doubts come? Because he had no control of mind. So that way Arjuna says it's impossible to control the mind. So if Arjuna was not this kind of a control of mind, he would not have become such an archer, because his guru has given him special treatment as Sisha and taught him more than his son, because he loved Arjuna for his mind control and for his talent. Just now we talked about how he has hit the eye of the bird, and then once there is a story, I don't know whether the story is true or not. Once all of them were sitting and eating food, and suddenly the lights went off. When they were in electricity, maybe the lantern which was put there went off. So that eating, normally we continue eating because we know where the plate is, we know where the mouth is. Then the thought came in his mind, when I am able to eat in the mouth, in the dark, why I cannot hit in the dark? And then he practiced in the dark, hearing the sound or something he kept there, because we know the plate is here, the mouth is here, we are eating. That way he practiced in the dark. That kind of a control he has. And even when he married Draupadi, the Swayamvaram, how was the Swayamvaram? All of you know about it, no? There is a fish on the top which keeps rotating at a very fast speed, and the shadow of the fish is kept below in a water. There is a water bowl below where the shadow of the fish comes is there. So he should look down. He should not look up. He should look down and hold the bowl like that and hit the eye, seeing at the shadow. It's so difficult. How can we do it? Only when we have total concentration. What is control of mind? Mind is nothing but total concentration on a work. So that is how he can control. In spite of that, he says, I could not control. It's impossible for me to control. So here, and we are in 33 now. So so here he says this is very impractical. 34 this is an SSP sloka, no? Chanchala hi manas. Jitesh, you know this sloka?
No, Mataji, it is not as is.
Okay. So next yeah. So Shri, you are going to read?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, please read.
Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavadritam tasyaham nigraham manye vayuriva sudushkaram. Translation. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind.
Yeah. Okay. So the mind is restless, turbulent. Yeah. The mind is restless, turbulent. That means here Arjuna says the mind is totally restless. All of us know, nothing to explain here also. The mind is restless, turbulent, always keeps wavering, obstinate and very strong. O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think is more difficult than controlling the wind. So here Arjuna is so powerful that it's impossible for anybody to control the wind. He says, I'll be able to control the wind, but it is impossible to control the mind. Mind. Here, if you see, wind is W-I-N-D, mind is M-I-N-D. So the W word, if you just tilt, it becomes wind. So he says, even though it's just saying there was no English then, but it looks so simple, wind and mind. But controlling, Arjuna says, I can control wind also, but I cannot control my mind. So how can, for us, even controlling of wind is also impossible. So, but for Arjuna, he can do it because of all his powers. But here, how to control the mind is transcendental we have to control our mind only with the intelligence and the knowledge what we are getting from the this transcendental knowledge. But How do we lose the control of mind? We lose the control of mind because of the material objects around us, the domination of the material objects around us. And then all of us know the story of Ajamil. The story is called Second Chance. So I think I told you many times this story. Ajamal, a Brahmin boy, he was married and is a very great devotee of Krishna. And he used to practice everything very well, perfectly used to practice. And then unfortunately for him, what happened is one day he went into the forest to collect some flowers and other things. So when he went there, unfortunately, he saw one prostitute and some other man moving around. So the sight attracted him so much. Then he immediately got fascinated with the beauty of the prostitute. Then he tried to control his mind, saying, no, it is wrong, it is wrong. I'm a married man and I should not go with the prostitute. I should not. And he tried to control his mind a lot, but he failed. And then finally what he does is he sells away all his property, but gets some money, gives it to the prostitute, brings her, marries her, and leads all his life in a very bad manner. That means bad manner means now that he is no more a Brahmin, no income, and then no properties. How to live? He married her, he had children, and because they had to take care of the children, he used to do all sorts of illegal things like theft and other things, and he left a very bad life. Why it happened for him? How the story concluded was different. So unfortunately, after 70 also, he had one boy, a small boy, and because of his good fortune, he named the boy as Narayana. And because the boy was so small, he was attached to the boy and he was always calling Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. That is the reason why in olden days, our elders used to keep our name of God's names, because we always keep saying, we know that the name of Krishna is no different from Krishna. That way, so if you have children in the house with godly names, we call them with the names. So we get that benefit out of it. Now we give some names which I don't even understand and remember also. So this Ajamil was calling the boy Narayana, Narayana, and finally the D-Day has come. So because he led a very bad life, Yamadutas have come from hell. And then because of his fortune, he could feel that Yamadutas are coming and he gets frightened. And then he calls Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Very desperately he calls. Because of the desperate calling, this Vishnudutas also come. Then these two people have a fight. No. One says he has led a very bad life. We are going to take him. The Vishnudutas, the Narayana Dutas say, we don't know. He said Narayana, so we are going to take him. So when the judgment comes for judgment, then he was given a second chance. He was told the mistakes what he has done and said, okay, because you led a very pure life in your childhood, we are giving you a second chance. Now we are going to give you some more lifetime. At least now you lead a proper life. That is the second chance. Here, that is not what we are talking about. We are talking about because of the sense attractions, what is happening. These eyes are so dangerous. We get attached to it. And then we get attached to it and we lose our control. And then when we lose our control, even though our intelligence, our knowledge tells us don't do it, we still do it. That is where we need the control. So what is the best thing is, don't get into control until we become perfect, until we become a real perfect devotee. Don't get into sense, don't get in contact with the sense attracting items. Those things which will keep attracting us, just keep away from them. Then that means slowly they will go away from mind. Out of sight is out of mind. So the moment we don't keep saying things, we don't remember also, we forget. Because these things are so, these sense attractive things are so temporary, that moment they attract. We just go out of the moment. If you like something very much in the shop, you would feel like buying this thing. Okay, let me think over for today or tomorrow. Within 2 days, I'll come back. After going home, the next day, you will simply forget it. Why is it required? Is it required? Not required. Let us leave it. That kind of immediately it happened for me so many times. When something really attracts me in the shop, I think, okay, let me take a decision. Let me wait for 1 day. I'll come tomorrow. And come tomorrow, that tomorrow will never come. Once we are out of the shop, we forget it. So that strength control of mind is very important. So if we have no control of mind, reduce yourself in getting contact with the sense gratification issues, the minds, with the objects which control our mind. Just reduce yourself with that. So so this is 34. Okay, so we shall stop here. Okay, Hare Krishna.